Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is your host Chaos Kaiser speaking with another video on a Total War Saga Troy. Now today's video is a little different than the other ones that I have been doing, and this one is literally, I consider it an Easter egg because I've missed it so many times in starting a Greek campaign in particular, but I wanted to point it out to you guys in case you haven't noticed. And the only way that I found out about it was I was actually progressing pretty far in one of my Greek campaigns as Sparta, and as I was making more military allies, all of a sudden my map lit up and I was like, what is that? So I went to investigate it and I was like, what? I had no idea that was even out there. Now, I know a majority of the campaign focuses around the Aegean and the Greek and Trojan coastlines. That's where my focus was throughout the entire, every campaign that I've started at this point. But then all of a sudden, when that lit up on the map, and I'll dive into what I'm talking about in a second, but when it lit up on the map and I saw what it was, I had to go see for myself. So I started a brand new campaign just so that I could show you guys. And it's in particular, it's a capital. It's a province out in the middle of nowhere in the water that I had no idea existed. Now, whereas most people are focusing on the eastern portions of Greece and the western coast of where the Trojan states are set up, this focuses to the west of Greece, so not even remotely near the Aegean. It's on the other side of everything. It's in the middle of nowhere, and I, again, never would have thought I'd seen it had it not been for the military allies that I was creating that kind of pointed it out. And it's an island called Trinacria. Now, Trinacria, like I said, is in the middle of nowhere, and you would have no idea that it's there unless you actually, were paying attention to this portion of the map and saw it once any faction kind of occupied it. So, again, here, Trinacria. Okay, I did say it right. I was wondering if I said if I pronounced it correctly, and I'm glad that I did. So, essentially, this is where it is. I started as Sparta. I secured my province, but by turn 9, I was all the way out here at Trinacria. Now, I'm going to just dive into this settlement as it sits. First of all, it's probably going to be my favorite new settlement in the entire game, just because I love stuff like this when they incorporate it. It seems like an Easter egg just because it's, to the south and west of everything. It's its own island. It's its own island, it's its own capital, it's its own province. So it literally sits out in the middle of the water by itself, and it's independent, essentially. So when you occupy it, you have 8 building slots in here. And I'm going to dive into some of the special characteristics about the building chain in particular, but it's awesome to see that they have a little extra stuff like this to throw in there. That's really, really cool to me. I love stuff like this. So definitely my favorite of all of the settlements in this game at this point. And let's start with how I started this campaign. So I like I said, I went down here, I secured the province, and I went directly west. Now, before you actually take this voyage, or on your way back from this voyage, you're going to want to do a couple things, and they all revolve around divine will. You want to not only do a prayer, but you also want to do a hecatomb to Poseidon. Now, Poseidon is like his own little sanctuary out here. I mean, everything that's out here caters to him. So to get there and to avoid attrition and to also get better campaign movement through the water to get to the island quicker, you're going to want to not only do the hecatomb, but also the prayer as well. And as you can see, as I'm hovering over it, you can see I have tier 1, Call of the Sea, so that adds 15% campaign movement range while at sea, so that helped me get to this island faster. And then also, I did the prayer to Poseidon so that I didn't take any deep water attrition. So from like here, as far as you can see with the little helmet on my cursor there, until I get to literally here, you're taking attrition through the water unless you have that prayer enabled. So you could go about it a couple ways. You could either do it on the way there, you could do it on the way back. It's up to you. I mean, it's all about your strategy of what you're trying to preserve and how you're looking to expand. And the reason why I say that is because you could take attrition, get out here and colonize it with your army, and then your army is going to be razor thin. But then you can do the Hecatomb and the prayer to get back, and you'll save yourself the casualties, and then you can replenish maybe when you get back on land, for instance, whatever you want to do. Or you could do it a mix of both ways, and maybe when you're one turn out, pop it, colonize it, and then head back. You only get 4 turns on the prayer, so just keep that in mind. However you want to do it, it says the prayer will provide its effects for 4 turns. So you'll get the movement range if you have the Hecatomb already enacted upon, and then if you add the prayer to it, you just avoid the attrition. So you're going to want to do them at the same time so that it's like a double positive in the benefits that you receive from having both. But it's up to you guys how you want to do it. I mean, I've seen or even heard of several ways of going about colonizing it, and with the Spartans, their mechanic is Spartan colonies, in which as long as it is a raised settlement and you have discovered it on your map, you can occupy it. Okay, let me repeat that. As long as it is a raised settlement, it has to be in a raised condition. So at that time, when you're looking to colonize it, it has to be raised. It can't be like formerly raised and occupied by another faction and you boot them out and take it. It has to be raised at that time, and then you can allocate resources to colonizing it without actually sending a military force there to populate it and colonize it and so on and so forth. So just keep that in mind. There are 2 ways of going about it. You can either spend the resources, or you can use your troops, and then in which case they obviously you'll have to replenish over time in order to get them back all to full health and everything, but you save on the resource cost. So it's up to you how you want to do it. I prefer to use my military to do it because those resources I would like to allocate towards other things, especially in the early game. That's just my opinion, but I'm just letting you know there are a couple options here in particular, and this only applies to if you're playing Sparta. Okay, so don't think you can run over here as Achilles and discover it on the map and then all of a sudden, colonize it without using your military. No, that is just a Spartan mechanic, in case you guys didn't know. So just more of an FYI than anything. But let's dive into the settlement itself. Why is it so special? It's got 8 building slots out here. So it's got walls. It's its own capital, as I mentioned. Its own province way out here in the middle of nowhere. But in particular, check this out. It's got the Cyclops icon. And it says Cyclops-related buildings can be constructed in this settlement. So you can construct them. There's a building in here in particular that I'm going to highlight. And then it says the recruitment of Cyclops requires level 3 Cult of Poseidon. So you have to get, level 3 in here with Poseidon. You can't just be occupying it and say it's yours. You have to be level 3 on the divine will here. So let's dive into the building that makes it so special. And it's over here in the special buildings tab. It's not this one, it's this one. Cyclops Cave. You get 2,000 food per turn. Let that sink in for a second. 2,000 food per turn. That's another army, ladies and gentlemen. By the time you actually get this to a tier 5 settlement, which it does have to be in order to even get this building, and it does have a pretty decent expense to it, but you'll get 2,000 food per turn, which can essentially field another army. And you will also get 350 favor from Poseidon. So, if you were looking for that level 3 cult of getting favor from Poseidon, this will help you to at least get to tier 2. So don't think that these benefits come without helping you actually achieve that. So you'll probably have an altar of Poseidon there, and then upgrade that as the specific altar that will be resurrected at this province. And then everything that you do, including once you get that Cyclops building, it'll get you to that tier 3 level, and then you can start recruiting Cyclops off this island. So it's so cool. I'm trying to hold back my excitement because I love stuff like this. I love it when they incorporate it in a game and they just make, you know, it's kind of like, do you guys remember in like the original Rome Total War? I mean, that's the quickest example that I had in my head. When you had the 7 wonders of the world that were in there, and if you captured them, they provided benefits and whatnot. It's the same thing, and I love that kind of stuff. Like, it's a very unique island in a unique location that you really have to know about and go for in order to take advantage of the benefits and maybe even, who knows, save your campaign down the road. Now, I occupied this as soon as I could. I thought about, you know, popping the prayer and the hecatomb after I already landed. I was like, wait a minute, Poseidon could help with that. So I'm sure you could get it even before turn 9, which would be probably tier 7. So I would probably pop the hecatomb and the prayer on my way out here so that I could get to it faster and colonize it and start that growth immediately. Because the faster it grows, the faster it gets to tier 5 and the faster you can take advantage of that building. So that's where I'm coming from with it. If you guys knew about this already, please let me know. I just wanted to at least express the fact that I see this out there and I'm like, what? Like, just in case, especially as a new player, you didn't know it existed. What a cool settlement. What a cool... And to think, if the Trojans ever launched a counterattack, let's say you were losing your campaign, they take over the mainland, you can retreat your troops back to this island and literally just hold out if you wanted to. And in the meantime, while all of them are coming to chase you down and attack you, they're going to be taking attrition unless they keep, you know, popping prayers and hecatombs to Poseidon as well. So keep that in mind. I just find it a really cool mechanic, really cool settlement. It's definitely my favorite now that I know about it, and I just wanted to share that information with you guys. So whether you knew about it or not, I hope that you're taking advantage of it, and if it has helped you in any capacity, and you have captured it and got it to tier 5, and it's helped you in your campaigns and whatnot, please feel free to let me know. I would love to hear about it, and if I helped you experience or explore or discover this as a result of posting this video, I would love to hear about that too. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in. Have an awesome and amazing rest of your day. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for all the support. And remember to stay healthy and game on. Take care, guys.